up guys, it's Danny, and today we're building and reviewing the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Icon set. This is set number 76391. It has 3,010 pieces and is recommended for ages 18 and up. This does retail for $250 US. It came out pretty recently and I'm super excited to get this thing built. Opening up a box of this size, I wasn't surprised to find yet another box, along with three 16x8 printed letter plates that are loose inside. The instruction manual and small sticker sheet are packaged together, with the stickers mainly just being for the potions bottles, and in total there are 22 bags. Taking a closer look at the instructions, they've highlighted some of the sets over the past 20 years of LEGO Harry Potter and included a page on the designers. I absolutely love the callouts here that identify all 11 icons, which I think was on purpose since that's the age at which you're eligible to attend your first year at Hogwarts. Here you can see the breakdown of the build, and all throughout the build there's actually these additional pages on the icons that make for a really nice transition between the various build sections. These glasses frames are a totally new build, and although they are super flimsy and don't really stay on your face, the round frames are actually a brand new LEGO element, and building those first was a stroke of genius to really immerse yourself into this wonderful nerdiness of the wizarding world. Moving on to the next icon with a flick and swish, Harry's wand made for a really surprisingly sturdy build with an elaborate but simple handle that utilizes those little furry decorative pieces and finishes off with a telescoping wand. One complaint here is that the tip of the wand does fall off quite easily, and no, there isn't really a phoenix feather core. Now, I initially thought that building the books would be kind of boring, but they really act as a supporting structure in disguise. The frame utilizes a lot of technique, but it was pretty intuitive, and once I started getting the frame laid out, it was time to fill in the pages. One of the most satisfying parts of the build, to be sure. 3 shelf pieces are stacked and slid into the edges, and then 12 2x12 slopes fill in the rest of the open page. The next 2 books have a really similar build that starts out with the outline, followed by 50 of those lined 1x2 bricks. Since they have to clip on to the main build, there's a few internal attachment points that are added in, and you finish off the top, decorate it, add the spine, and all of this gets clipped onto Tom Riddle's diary. Then you basically do that all again, except this time in the color red and twice as fast, because now you know how to build this, and the only difference is where the attaching points are placed and the cover design. The final part of the book stack is this elaborate little potions box with a printed shelf piece that says HG, and actually that part faces the back of the set. Then I started to build some legs. In order to support the weight of the whole model, the designers incorporated the owl's legs into the stand so that you can reinforce the connection points and then place the body on top. And don't forget about those toes. Sculpting isn't really something that many LEGO sets offer, and I gotta say I really enjoyed seeing this owl come together piece by piece and feather by feather. You start out building the body and attaching the tail feathers, which I was really worried about because you assemble 7 tail feathers and I thought I would tire of the repetitive builds, but there is some color variation with the gray and black speckled in, and furthermore, each addition to the plumage just made it look that much more impressive. I'm not really sure if it was the show I was watching in the background, but this part just seemed to fly by. No pun intended. There are 2 whole bags dedicated to the elaborate double-sided wing joints that allow you to attach 7 more feathers via ball joints and clips, and although you build the exact wing on both sides, I still really enjoyed decorating the surfaces with the corners and dots, and one side is actually black corner dots and then the other is all white. Once I got those attached, it was time to start building the head. You build the base of the head first, and then you essentially sketch out the face, in which I thought the eyes were really compelling, nicely rounded, and the eyes are also really reflective, and then you finish it off with a cute beak. This attaches to the base of the head, which snaps onto the body, and the entire model can finally be placed onto the 2 Technic axle pieces on the legs. The next few bags consist of a lot of white with a little bit of black and gray sprinkled in, and there are a total of 14 feathers that are attached to the wings. Starting from the base, you work your way up with slightly larger feathers each time. This gave some variation to the otherwise kind of repetitive builds, and like I said before, just put something on in the background and this part will fly by. Speaking of flying, there is one more thing, the golden snitch that just kind of sticks out of the side and just looks pretty elegant. And then if those beautiful filled in feathers weren't rewarding enough to look at, well, now it's time to fill out that little potions box with these bottles that just brought me so much joy. You fill them up with little light green transparent studs to make polyjuice potion, brown studs to make asphodel, dark green wormwood, and don't forget the gillyweed. And now that our potions box is completely full, we can start to build the McDonald's French fries. I mean the Gryffindor scarf piece. There's actually base plates for the other 3 houses and little bits that you can swap out to make your house colors, but the instructions did show Gryffindor, so I went with that one. Then comes the special 20th anniversary golden minifigure stand in Chocolate Frog, which was not as much fun to build, but looks amazing from the bulging eyes, open mouth, and webbed feet, and the froggy legs. It's for sure a highlight. And of course, the final back here is the Chocolate Frog card, which looks spectacular. And then, of course, you have the Hogwarts acceptance letter that drapes down the front of the books. The letter connects right underneath the talons. You can't even see the point where the clips attach. And the letter itself here has a section where you could write your name, but I really highly advise that you don't do that because that's going to greatly devalue the set. And if you're trying to ever sell this in the future, which I don't know, like why you'd ever want to, this thing is a beauty. It's a lifelong partner. Like I'm going to have this in my house until I die. What I'm trying to say here is this set is amazing, but if I were to change anything, it would be to make it $200 instead of $250. And the way that I would accomplish that is by separating a few great parts that are good enough to actually be standalone sets. First is the Chocolate Frog card, which is actually large enough to be its own set, and with the last 3 20th anniversary golden minifigures, I'm sure a lot of people would have been beyond thrilled to surpass a $250 paywall, but that's also the fun of collecting. I just think that it doesn't really connect to the main build very well, or at all for that matter, and it was added here as a kind of grand finale to the collectibles and to help sell this set. It's a really great display stand, however, with the expanders on the sides, so you can display all 9 golden minifigures together and take turns appearing in the magical wizarding card. But imagine this as a standalone set for $25, and imagine the price of the icon set being that much lower. Second are the house scarves, and from the moment that I saw this set, I really didn't feel like these added any value to the set. And despite being able to change it to your house colors, the Gryffindor colors really don't look that good, and it's a lot of pieces that could have otherwise helped to lower the price point. In my opinion, the Hufflepuff colors actually do look the best, but I might also be biased. Third is the actual Chocolate Frog, or the Snitch. The Snitch here actually uses golden hot air balloon pieces from that friend set, and this is probably an added cost, so if I were trying to meet a $200 price point, I'd be okay with this not being in this set. Furthermore, this Chocolate Frog is so good, it could easily pair with the card and make that display stand set a $40 set. But both of these things can physically connect to the main build, so I do feel that they add more value. That being said, I like that you can move the entire main build all together, but have it look like it's about to fall over in a very magically balanced way. With 11 icons present in the set, the LEGO design team really went above and beyond to make this magical, from the glow-in-the-dark liquid luck to the specific ingredients included in those bottles.
Tell me, what would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood?
That's right, they referenced that scene, making these potions some of the most charming Easter eggs in any Harry Potter set that I have seen so far. I think the only issue with the set is the little typo in the Latin phrase on the letter that should be a U, but instead it's an O, but I really can't find fault in any of the actual build design or any of the actual lore and Easter eggs that they've added here. I think they've done a lovely job. I think it just comes down to personal preference and wishing that the price point were a bit lower, but if this thing fits on my shelves, I'm going to be thrilled. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it actually fits. The wings just barely fit underneath the shelf. Obviously, I'm not going to display it like this. This is all too precarious. That is just mischief that needs to be managed. I'm actually going to put it up there once I move all of these small sets, and it's going to look amazing. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And check this out. Next to the buildable Hermione and Harry figure, we've got the Chocolate Frog card with the golden minifigure stand looking excellent. I'm just missing Professor Snape because I don't have the chess set yet, but there it is in all of its glory. And now that I've moved all of those sets, they're just sitting on the bench, and I don't know how I got so many speeders. Alright, Hedwig doesn't want to wear the glasses. So in conclusion, is the set worth $250? Yes, I do believe you're getting your money for it. It is also over 3,000 pieces, but I do wish that it were actually released at a $200 price point, with this being separate. So I was a little bit on the fence when the set first came out, but now that I have it in person, the owl just kind of steals your heart a little bit, and the stacks of books just work really well as a supporting structure and stand to give you height and just an incredible display piece. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite part of this set is, and if you leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, mischief managed.